Captain Zach Novak's boots crunched on the crystalline surface of Epsilon 9, kicking up plumes of iridescent dust. The barren planetoid stretched out before him, its violet sky punctuated by 3 moons and the ghostly remnants of a recent space battle. "Oxygen levels stable, Cap," chirped his AI companion, Aria, through his helmet comm. "But I'm picking up an anomalous life sign 2 clicks north." Zach frowned. "Impossible. This rock's as dead as my ex-wife's sense of humor." Nevertheless, he trudged forward, his curiosity piqued. As he crested a ridge, he froze. There, nestled in a crystalline crater, sat an alien escape pod unlike anything he'd ever seen. "Well, I'll be a Martian's uncle," Zach muttered. As he approached, the pod's hatch hissed open. Out stumbled a figure that took his breath away. She was humanoid, but her skin shimmered with a pearlescent glow, and her hair seemed to float as if underwater. "Greetings, Star Wanderer," she said, her voice melodious yet strained. "I am Princess Lyra of the Celestial Sovereignty. I require immediate assistance." Zach's jaw dropped. "A princess? Out here? What in the 7 systems were you doing in the middle of a space battle?" Lyra's luminescent eyes flashed with a mix of pride and sorrow. "I was leading our fleet against the Void Horde. My people, they're all gone now." "Whoa, back up," Zach said, raising his hands. "You're telling me a princess was commanding a battle fleet?" "In my culture," Lyra replied, drawing herself up regally despite her obvious exhaustion, "royalty leads from the front. We do not cower behind our subjects." Before Zach could respond, Aria's urgent voice cut in. "Captain, multiple bogies incoming. Signatures match the Void Horde vessels from the recent battle." Lyra's eyes widened in fear. "They've found me. The Horde will stop at nothing to capture me and extract the secrets of our biotechnology." Zach's mind raced. His small scout ship was no match for a Void Horde war party, but he couldn't leave this princess, this warrior, to face them alone. "Aria, prep the ship for immediate dust-off," he commanded. Then, turning to Lyra, he extended his hand. "Your Highness, I may not be much, but I'm your best shot at getting out of here alive. Care to take a chance on a scruffy starfarer?" Lyra hesitated for a moment, then grasped his hand firmly. "Lead the way, Captain." As they sprinted towards Zach's ship, the sky lit up with the ominous glow of entering Void Horde vessels. The ground shook as energy weapons began to pummel the surface. They reached the ship just as the first Horde landing craft touched down. Zach threw himself into the pilot's seat, fingers flying over the controls. "Hang on, Princess!" he shouted as the engines roared to life. The ship rocketed upwards, weaving through a hail of enemy fire. As they broke atmosphere, Zach's heart sank. A massive Void Horde battlecruiser loomed before them, its weapon ports glowing with deadly intent. "Any ideas, Your Highness?" Zach asked, his voice tense. Lyra leaned forward, her eyes locked on the enemy ship. "There's a weakness in their shields, but exploiting it would require flying directly into their main energy cannon as it fires." Zach grinned despite the dire situation. "Now that's the kind of crazy I can get behind. Aria, plot a course for that cannon." As they hurtled towards certain doom, Lyra placed a hand on Zach's shoulder. "Captain, should we survive this? I believe you and I have much to discuss about our respective cultures." "Looking forward to it, Princess," Zach replied, his eyes never leaving the rapidly approaching battlecruiser. "Now let's make history!" The enemy cannon flared to life, a beam of pure destruction lancing out towards them. Zach gritted his teeth. As Zach's ship hurtled towards the Void Horde battlecruiser's energy cannon, time seemed to slow. The beam of destruction inched closer, its searing light filling the cockpit. Suddenly, Princess Lyra's eyes began to glow with an otherworldly intensity. "Captain," she said, her voice resonating with power, "I must reveal my true nature. What I'm about to do. It's why the Void Horde hunts me." Before Zack could respond, Lyra's form began to shift. Her pearlescent skin became translucent, revealing a swirling cosmos within. Her hair transformed into tendrils of pure energy, and her eyes became miniature supernovas. "Area," Zack gasped. "What am I looking at?" The AI's voice crackled with static. "Captain, the princess's biosignatures are off the charts. She's channeling the power of a star." Lyra's voice echoed through the ship, seeming to come from everywhere at once. "My people are not mere biological entities, Captain. We are living stars, guardians of the cosmic balance. This is the power the Void Horde seeks to control." She placed her now glowing hand on the ship's hull, and instantly, a bubble of swirling cosmic energy enveloped them. The enemy's energy beams struck the barrier and dissipated harmlessly. "Impossible," Zack whispered in awe. Lyra's form continued to grow brighter. "Captain, I need you to fly us into the heart of the Void Horde fleet. Can you do that?" Zack grinned, his earlier fear replaced by exhilaration. "Your Highness, it would be my pleasure." He gunned the engines, weaving through the stunned enemy ships. As they reached the center of the fleet, Lyra raised her arms, her entire being pulsing with stellar energy. "Now, witness the power of a celestial sovereign!" she cried out. In that instant, Lyra released a surge of cosmic energy so intense that Zack had to shield his eyes. The blast expanded outward in a perfect sphere, engulfing the entire Void Horde fleet. When the light faded, Zack's jaw dropped. Where once there had been a fearsome armada, now there was nothing but drifting stardust. Lyra's form slowly returned to its humanoid appearance, though her eyes still glimmered with starlight. She slumped in her seat, clearly exhausted. That was incredible," Zack said, still in shock. "You wiped out an entire fleet in seconds." Lyra nodded wearily. "And now you understand why I must be protected. In the wrong hands, this power could devastate entire galaxies." As the implications sank in, Zack realized his simple scouting mission had just become something far more complex and dangerous. He was now the protector of perhaps the most powerful being in the universe. "So, Your Highness," he said, a mix of excitement and trepidation in his voice, "where to next?" Lyra's eyes met his, a silent understanding passing between them. "We must find my scattered people and unite them against the greater threat that looms beyond the Void Horde. But first—" She paused, a small smile playing on her lips. "I believe I owe you that cultural exchange we discussed earlier." As Zack set a course for the nearest safe haven, he couldn't help but chuckle. "You know, Princess, when I woke up this morning, I didn't expect to be cruising through space with a living star." "And I," Lyra replied, her eyes twinkling, "did not expect to find an ally in a scruffy starfarer. It seems the universe still has surprises for us both." With the vastness of space stretching out before them and the promise of grand adventures ahead, Zack and Lyra, the unlikely duo of a human captain and a star princess, set off into the unknown, ready to face whatever challenges the cosmos might throw their way. Zack turned to his wide-eyed kids, wondering if the story had finished. They were half human and alien, not that you could tell.